Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Middlegame Podcast, your favorite weekly chess podcast with Lula and Amelia. This week, we are going to be answering the age-old question: can chess just be for fun?
No. End episode.
End episode. Okay, but this is actually a very divided issue. A lot of people will be listening and they'll be like, of course, chess is just fun. It's just like, I have so much fun. But then I will pose this question to you. Do you feel good when you win? And how good do you feel when you win compared to how bad you feel when you lose? Because this is a really big problem. Like, people are, when they win, they just expect that that's the baseline, right? Winning is the baseline and losing is catastrophe. Losing is devastation. Losing is the end of the world. And this is surprisingly common of an outlook, and it ruins people's relationship with chess, I think.
I think this question really hits home for me because I know for a fact I cannot play chess like just for fun. I am such an anxious person and I care so much about the number on the screen. And as much fun as I had playing in a tournament, I was always so nervous about like, was I playing good moves? Was I being stupid? Do I look dumb? And so I just personally feel like as human beings, we inherently always want to improve, like at anything we do, um, even if we're not doing it all day, every day, we still want to improve and get better and try to be the best, even if we know that we can't be, a top chess player. And I don't know about you, but I have huge anxiety issues when it comes to chess. It's why I don't play in tournaments or really play online that much because I hate losing and I have a horrible relationship with it. But also too, I just I don't know why I can't do it just for fun. It takes over a part of me.
Yeah, I know people who are not competitive people in general, but then when it comes to chess, they really get tilted, if they play badly or if they lose. And I think it's because uh, our society ties chess skill to intelligence. Even though, you can be very, very intelligent and not know the rules of chess and not know how to play and be an awful chess player, doesn't mean you're not smart. But people do tend to believe that if you play good chess, you are intelligent, which I think generally is not a good rule to live and die by. But people do very much judge themselves for playing poorly in chess because they feel like, oh, that questions my logic skills, that questions my reasoning, my ability to calculate, and therefore my intelligence comes into question. And I would say that compared to other video games, or like games in general, the average chess player seems much more likely to seek out instructional materials. And it's actually very common to have a chess coach, even if you're not a professional. Like, even me, for example, I've had many chess coaches, and we've talked about this in an episode before. You'll find very casual chess players who just hire a chess coach.
I think too, compared to other sports, especially when you think about soccer, for example, I find that those team sports, they're played mostly for fun, to socially. I have friends that play in recreational soccer leagues, and yes, they're competitive and they want to win, and they want to get better as well. But, at the end of the day, it's for them to mostly have fun, and that is what is most important to them. I find chess to be like quite similar in a way to competitive swimming because competitive swimming, at the end of the day, it is an individual sport. Like, you are the one that is swimming in the heat, but you are on a team at the same time. And I find that that is similar to, surrounding yourself with other chess players. It is a very individual sport and you're competitive with it, but you're also kind of on a team. And so there's a interesting caveat to the accessibility of chess and people understanding. One, I think that this seeking out instructional materials really comes from the fact that you kind of have to if you want to play the game. Chess has such a specific structure. It has an opening, it has a middle game, and it has an end game. And if you don't learn those structures, you can't even really fully have fun playing the game.
Because you don't have a deep enough understanding to know how to win.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people who are not, frequent chess players will tell you if you walk past them on the street, oh yeah, I know how to play chess. But then if you ask them how they would go about strategizing to win a game, even against a beginner, they probably won't be able to tell you anything beyond maybe a scholar's mate. And so I totally agree that whilst the rules of chess are very simple, there is quite a high barrier to entry for actually winning games. Like if I was standing on an empty football pitch, I could kick the ball into the net. But if I didn't know chess strategy, I wouldn't be able to show you how to checkmate with certain pieces. I have taught many beginners how to checkmate, even a ladder checkmate, or a checkmate with a king and a queen. And there is a moment where you see where it clicks to them, and then it becomes the easiest thing in the world. They're like, of course, this is checkmate. Of course, this is how it works. But there is a learning curve to that, and it's not instinctive, and they don't get it right away. So I agree. You need to have that curiosity to seek out instructive materials in chess.
Exactly, because chess at the end of the day, it's not about the person with the most points wins, like with football, or, the person who comes in first place wins. You have to checkmate someone, and that inherently has an aspect of learning and improving. And so at the end of the day, I think that you can't have chess without wanting it to learn and improve and gain more knowledge. And I think that then ultimately leads to the game being quite competitive.
Yeah, and I think it is obviously by nature a very competitive game. Like you say, it's not like in other games where if you collect as many pieces as possible, you'll win the game. That's not how it works. But the chess community itself and chess content is very improver focused. And we put a lot of pressure on one another to have achieved something. So a lot of people won't post unless they've got something to say about their achievements. They won't post unless they've reached another rating goal or until they've beaten, a specifically like high level opponent. But I did a poll on Instagram. Surprise, surprise.
We love an Instagram poll.
We love an Instagram poll. We are nothing if not scientists here. And we polled around 350 people, and 63% of people said that they thought it was important to keep improving in chess. And 37% of people said that chess can be just for fun. I do want to clarify, however, that for those who said chess can be just for fun, I asked them for a follow-up. I asked them to tell me, if it's just for fun, what do you enjoy? And then a lot of the people said that they enjoy improving. I think maybe some people didn't really understand the question. So I think that the chess community as a whole, people do truly believe that you have to have some kind of upward trajectory in making your elo go up or, beating stronger opponents. But I do have a lot of feedback from people who said if it's just for fun, what did they enjoy about it? And a lot of people put a focus on the way that it keeps their brain sharp. So like they'll do it for the same reason that they would do like a Sudoku or a cryptic crossword, and they'll do it for like a brain workout because they feel good stimulating that part of their brain, because chess has the pattern recognition and it definitely works out a very specific part of their brain, but they don't care so much about the result.
I was just thinking just now actually that a way that chess can just be for fun, I really like watching chess. I like seeing, people play against each other. I like seeing other people's games, and I also personally like taking pictures. I think that part of chess, seeing the emotion in people is fun for me. Could not be on the other side of that though.
Yeah, and so for you as a chess player to be in that role, you would need to be improver focused.
Yeah, and I don't want to improve.
Yeah, so a lot of people polled said that they enjoy chess as a social activity because they will physically go to the chess club once a week, and it's an important third space to go to outside of sports clubs. Society doesn't really have third spaces anymore. Like nobody goes to social clubs or libraries, or like nobody goes dancing like they used to, in the 20th century. And so we just have work, we have home, and then we have like places we pay to go to. And so chess clubs are an important social space as well. And all sports clubs are. But I never really, because I don't go to a physical chess club, I don't have that relationship with chess. And so I think it was actually really interesting for people to say that predominantly they like chess as, their constant social activity.
That makes a lot of sense, though. I see that. And then if you're just going to the chess club to meet people, then I can see how chess is just for fun. You know, you're playing against people, even if you're not necessarily improving, you know, you have that social outlet, and then that's fun. And there are some chess clubs that honestly look a lot of fun. They, you know, go out, they get a drink, um, there was one girl on Instagram that I saw who kind of made chess clubbing where like you would go to a club and they would play house techno music.
Yeah, and Hannah says she's a Twitch streamer. She also runs every month, I think, a chess club in Melbourne, which is like a bar, which just every month they do a chess event there. And it's super popular and it brings in people who wouldn't normally go to a chess club. So especially like a lot of women, for example, who are already at the bar, they see the chessboards and they're like, hell yeah, I'll play some chess. So yeah, I think in this way it can be like a fun icebreaker as well. Like it can be just a vehicle for something else. It doesn't have to even be the focus of the activity. But kind of on the flip side, there are people who play chess because they enjoy how like all consuming it is for their focus, and how they don't want to think about maybe something going on in their real life, and they use chess either as a form of meditation or to improve their focus, or just because they can forget life's problems.
I love forgetting my problems. Chess doesn't help me do that because it causes more of my problems, but
Same.
I find that why chess isn't fun for me is because I'm always thinking about the other person, and I am always wondering, do they think that that's a horrible move? They think I'm a horrible chess player, and that those thoughts just absolutely consume me, and I can't play against other people, even honestly like online. My chess.com rating is still at like 600, but even when I play against another 600 and I know that they're not making great moves or they're using clearly the engine, I am always like, oh, do they think I'm a bad chess player? It's just not fun for me to be in that mindset.
I think that's so interesting because for me, I am very, very used to this public humiliation ritual where people see me blundering online and they will just watch me spend 20 minutes on a move only to blunder. And so I'm quite desensitized from that aspect of what does my opponent think about me? But I do definitely get anxious about, oh, like what will my coach say about this game, or what will, my viewers say about the fact that I wasted all this time on this move. And so I think it is very hard, especially when you're like a little bit in the public sphere or a public figure, uh, knowing that people will look at your games and comment on them openly is definitely stressful and does remove some of that fun, like quirky nature to it. I try with my online games to not care. And like, so my online games, I will just play like one G4. Like I'll play the Grub, sure. Like I have no fear. It's an online blitz game. I don't care. You know, I think like for me, I had to reach a point where I could tell you online chess doesn't matter to me because it's just like, I don't know, it's a simulation for real chess. Just like social media is just a simulation for real life. It's not real life, right? We all know that by now. Social media is not real life. Online chess is not the same as playing a classical chess tournament. They're two separate entities. And so for me, I had to allow myself to have one that's like serious and then one that's just like an outlet for blunders and making silly mistakes. Except the problem is I do still make blunders in my serious chess, and that's probably why I haven't played a chess tournament all year.
I never thought of it that way. That's a really, to just see kind of online chess as a simulation for real life chess and then put all the seriousness on the real life chess, which I guess makes sense. Do you think though that, because obviously in the online system, you know, we have our online ratings and then we have our FIDE ratings. Like, do you think in any way the ELO system facilitates this idea that chess can't be fun and that we always have to improve because we always want kind of a bigger number? Or like, what if we just had no ratings? Like, what if we were all just playing chess win lose, but there was no number kind of attached to our identity?
I think that's a really interesting question. I think that you're in a better place to answer it than I am because you know about chess before the ELO system. But what I can say is that I do see very, very often people who are incredibly, incredibly attached to both their FIDE ELO and their online rating. And I know that people, like, there are thousands of accounts on chess.com that are inactive because people will reach their goal rating. Let's say their goal rating is 2000, and then they will no longer play on that account because they're afraid to lose that rating. So they'll make another account that they can play on because they're too afraid of losing their digital chess rating to continue playing on that account. And for me, there's something quite like sad in that. Not saying like sad as in embarrassing. I'm saying sad as in that we put so much importance on that number, and that we clearly think that it has a value, or that it reflects on us in a very specific way, to be able to say, oh, I have this number. Like, it's not enough to have achieved that number and go back down and go back up again and have that fluctuation. That is too, flawed. Apparently, you have to have that static number, which seems so inhuman to me.
It is really inhuman. If the viewers want to step in with me to Amelia's Chess History Corner, before we had the ELO rating system, the way that we determined who was the best chess player in the world is, honestly, you had these chess players from all over the world sending each other letters, and they would basically say, hey, I'm the best chess player in the world. I invite you to come play this match against me, and whoever wins is the next world chess champion. They didn't have ratings. It really was just based on pure vibes of who they thought the best chess player was. And I think that's a very fascinating way to do it, because then, okay, you have a hierarchical system where they think that someone is the best, that there is a number one player and then there are players underneath them, and that brings like an inherently hierarchical structure to the game that facilitates the need for someone to improve. And so I think it's kind of this nature versus nurture idea. Like, do we and I want to say that chess can, again, just never be for fun, because us as humans, like, we want to be the best. Even before the ELO system, you had kind of this competitive nature where people were trying to figure out, okay, who's the best like chess player.
Yeah, that's true that people do have this innate competitive streak. But I did get some other responses about like reasons people play for fun, and some of them, some people think that playing chess can stimulate your creativity because it's a way of like practicing abstract thought that isn't based in the real world. Or some people on the flip side of that think that strategizing in chess makes them better at strategizing in real life too. And I think that these are all really interesting approaches. But also I had people who say that, they just use chess to connect with other people. So I had one person say that they played with their grandfather who suffers from Alzheimer's and knows that he loves playing chess, but maybe has forgotten, how to play or forgotten other things about his life, but uses chess as a vehicle for connecting with his grandfather. And I think that that's very touching. And I think that I never really thought about chess as just being a tool for connection. But you do also see, you see, for example, Tunde's Chess in Slums, and you see him giving, thousands of children chess as a tool for, practicing independence and learning and finding a way out of maybe, a little bit more of a hopeless situation where they don't feel like they have a place to go or an activity to do. And then they have chess. And so I think that actually for a lot of people and a lot of communities, chess is just, chess could be something else. It could be any mind sport, or it could be a different game, but it's chess in this instance. And it is there as something that people can gather around and a point of commonality. And this is something, that's always attracted me about chess, is it doesn't matter who you are or how old you are or, what country you're from, is you can connect through chess, which has no language and it has no barrier, and anyone can do it. And so I think in its like purest form, it can be that, but we corrupt it with our desire to gain 50 more elo points.
High number, happy human.
Yeah, I hate that. Like this, I hate bigger number, better person culture, which seems to be, you know, such a strong theme running through our lives at this moment, especially because life now exists online. You know, life is on social media. And so you have people who think, you know, more followers equals better person. When in reality, you know, if we all got rid of our phones and you're not, you know, checking the number of my Instagram followers at the social event that we're at, are you a better person than me because you have, you know, 1 million followers? I don't think so. Are you a better person than me because you have 1,000 more elo points? Of course not, you know?
Yeah, it's a frustrating world to live in at the moment with this. And I think I personally wish the elo system didn't matter as much. I understand why it's there, but like if I didn't have the elo system, well, actually, I take it back. I don't think my problem is with the elo system. I think my problem is with I have a issue with like how I feel about what people perceive of me, which is something I should work out with my therapist.
Okay, but I want to mention also somebody that we both know very personally, Mr. Dodgy, and he has a very strong opinion about this topic, and he says that chess is literally only for fun, and that he feels really good when he wins, and it's not the end of the world when he loses. And this I'm very envious of. Honestly, I'm very envious of this outlook because it can definitely ruin my day if I lose a classical chess game, even if I lose, you know, a long online chess game that I've spent a lot of time and effort in. Like, it can really put me in a bad mood. And I would love to have this non-toxic relationship with chess where I'm just having I'm having a great time, you know, I'm just playing fun tactics, playing fun moves, making threats, and just maybe winning, maybe losing, but you know, who cares? It's a game. Like, and I have tried to like manifest this relationship with chess because over the past few years, I have on my Twitch stream, I've been saying chess is just a game. It's just for fun. And I've been trying to like say this from a point of, you know, fake authority where I say to my viewers, you know, chess is just for fun because I want them to have a healthy relationship with chess. I don't want them to have this relationship with chess where if they win, they're still just only satisfied. And if they lose, they're devastated. This is, you know, this is way too common. I think it's fostered by the current like chess content that we see out there, which is so improver focused and so numbers based. And I want people to, you know, I don't want people to have that relationship that I've had because I've struggled so much with trying to enjoy chess when I know that I've set myself these impossible standards that I will never reach.
You're dropping some wisdom today. And I think, I don't know if I think that Mr. Dodgy's mindset is one we should all strive for, but I think, like you said, it is not the current reality of the chess world. And so how do we change that? Are we saying like we need to stop doing improver focused content? Do we just say, I don't think we can, I doubt FIDE will let us get rid of the elo system. Maybe it's just like a cultural mindset shift that we need to have where we're saying, yes, the number is there. Sometimes it's important to, you know, to have so that we can see who is the best, like kind of gauge where everyone is at. And that way too, people who are of equal strength are paired up with each other so that, you know, they can play kind of a similar level of chess. But I think maybe the majority of us need to get to the point where we say chess is only for fun and we don't mind losing, and we yes, like winning, it feels nice, but at the end of the day, it's just a board game.
Yeah. And I think, okay, I'm not trying to speak for the whole chess community. I know a lot of people don't have this bad relationship with chess. And if you don't, then I congratulate you. And I think that, you know, you can go multiple ways with losing feels bad. You can either go to losing feels bad, I don't like this, or losing feels bad, I'm going to study to improve. But I think the best result is just to not feel like losing at chess feels any worse than losing at any other game. I think unless you're ultra competitive in any aspect of life, then I think chess, we do definitely need to just refocus, reframe. It is just a game. Like, you're not unintelligent for losing a chess game. And then on the other side, I also feel like, you know, when we win, sometimes winning feels good, obviously. Sometimes you actually want to study more because you win, because winning feels good, so you want to win more, so therefore you want to study more. And so maybe there is, some people have this natural kind of feedback loop where if they win, they want to study. But me, if I win, I'm just like, okay, I win, I'm going to go do something else now. I'm not going to study. So I think it's probably more down to the individual personality of the person playing the chess. But I think that definitely, like, the culture of online chess is, I think, a little bit too improver focused. It is great to have so many free resources. I would never wish that we didn't have all of these free resources, because I think that it helps to democratize chess, which is only a good thing. But I think that we can be, like, silly and wacky and have chess content which just isn't just like, here is how you can optimize your chess study to gain 10% more elo this year. Like, because this is what it feels like sometimes. And
Yeah.
I personally have received a lot of backlash for not improving at chess. And so I think that we have unfortunately fostered a community where the expectation is that you must always be improving. And if you're not improving, you're actually just like either stupid or lazy, which is neither are true. So yeah, I think we just need to be a little bit kinder, because people don't have to want to improve at chess. And that's, I think the point is you don't have to want to be a grandmaster. That's not the goal of chess.
Exactly. I think we've come into this mindset where, things have their limits, and that's okay. And yes, our potential can be endless, but maybe we're just girls and we want to have a silly, goofy time with it. So
yeah, maybe this drive to always gain more elo is just reflective of our late neo-capitalist society, which is crumbling, and we think that we have exponential possibility, but in fact the earth has a carrying capacity, and we all have limits to the amount that we can both produce and consume. And so maybe it's good to recognize our limits sometimes, not wanting to limit ourselves by saying, okay, this is my maximum rating ceiling, but just limiting ourselves for saying, maybe I don't need to be so obsessive about this.
do you think the economy has an end?
Of course it does.
Where does it end?
Hopefully soon.
Same. Let's go back to hunting and gathering.
Anyway, we obviously all have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this, so feel free to share yours with us in the comments. We always read the comments.
Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to like and follow, and let us know. Do you play chess just for fun, or do you always feel the need to improve? Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.